I wish it was convention time right now. I want to, like, the Indians should sell them red, white, and blue blankets and cough COVID in it. This is a fucking nod to the past. If they're not going to learn from the past in any level, then let the Indians give them COVID blankets right before the convention. How hilarious. And Flint, and then the kids from Flint can hand out bottled water to the conventioners. Trump water. It's Trump water. Oh shit, I'm taking my Trump water and my American flag blanket given to me by a Native American.
Jogging this morning. What? Yeah, there he is.
Can you hear us okay?
The computer rebooted. It didn't bring in for a while. Right? So, do you want to allow Skype? Do you want to allow Skype? I said, yeah, and I did. I'm a bit hungover today. It was a rough one.
Yeah. Poker night.
Poker night.
In a pandemic. Pandemic poker.
It was contactless poker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah?
Right. So, yeah, Mitchell and I are back in LA, and currently there is a parade of people going up our street, walking up to Sunset Boulevard to take part in another march. So
Is it
there's
the
going to be
gays?
helicopters over. Yeah, the gays. Yeah, it is the gays.
Oh, it's
Well,
right.
Well, what are you doing?
I'm an ally, but I'm not a marcher.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well,
I don't
no,
care. I don't care what your cause is. I'm behind you, but I'm going to be behind you from in my house.
I think
Yeah.
you laid the scent trail down. That's why you went jogging.
Yeah. I wanted them to know where to go.
They'll go the whole route you did.
By the way, this is how we got back yesterday. Friday, 2 days ago. And so yesterday, I'm like, all right, I'm going to get back into the routine. I'm going to start running every day. So I get out there and I run yesterday, and I have a nice little path I run, which this means nothing to anybody who's not from here, but down Santa Monica Boulevard, you can cut up to Sunset Boulevard, and I run Sunset Boulevard into Beverly Hills, because once you get into Beverly Hills, like, the streets are really wide and the sidewalks are perfect and everything's fucking shaded and it's beautiful. You don't have to, there's no people around, so you can pull your mask down when you run because you're not going to breathe on anybody. It's fucking great. So I'm coming down Sunset Boulevard, and where it changes to, it goes from West Hollywood to Beverly Hills. It goes from business to residential. And there's a bus stop right at the edge there. And I see this homeless guy. He's like curled up on the bus stop in like this weird position, like, but I see that all the time. So it didn't strike me as anything. But the guy's like curled up, kind of half fetal position on this bench. And then I notice his pants are down around his ankles. And also that's not anything necessarily out of the ordinary either. So I'm like, his pants are down, and I'm like, yeah, there it is. That's his dong's hanging out. And then all of a sudden, as I'm trying to look away from his fucking dong hanging down, his dong fucking drops down to the fucking ground in a plop, and I'm like, oh, that wasn't his dick. He's taking a shit. And I watched it. I was like, oh. And yeah. So, and Beverly
Like
Hills,
off the edge, like off the edge of a
yeah,
cliff.
yeah. And that's why he was kind of sitting the way he was. He had like one butt cheek on the bench, and then the rest of it was kind of like hanging off. And I just thought he was like drug addled, and that's the position he ended up in. But no, he was taking a fucking.
That was his desired position.
Yeah, I think you call that the Beverly Hills O2, right? That's his address. He marked his territory. That's his unzip code.
He can have it.
Yeah, he marked this. I took a wide berth, so I mean, he marked it properly, and
So did he.
it was still there today, by the way.
Well, yeah,
That's
who's
how
going
you
to
can-
touch that?
That's how you can tell if you're properly social distancing. If you take a shit and people are close enough to you, you're too close.
If there's a reaction to your action, then you're too close.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, that's just how it goes. That guy probably doesn't have a bathroom at his house or a house.
Or Andy, maybe it's being remodeled. Maybe
Right,
they've got a
yeah,
crew
see?
in there.
Yeah.
That could be it. A lot of things. I didn't pause long enough to ask him. I kicked it up a notch and fucking went by.
When I slept in the Unbookables van, they had it. It was Seattle. They parked it there for the Hemp Fest. That's when I drank all that weed syrup. But I slept there, and I got up in the morning and I had to take a shit. And it's like that's where you're like, oh, okay, I'm a homeless guy. So when you have to shit, that's when you realize, I'm not just out for a walk. I live here.
Well, Andy, Hemp Fest usually is out at that park out by the pier, right?
Well, this was, right downtown Seattle.
Yeah, right at the end of where the Seattle Art Institute is. There's like a sculpture park, and it kind of goes along the beach, but there's no facilities. I mean,
yeah, no, none at all. Oh, yeah, you're gonna have to get it, Squirrel. This other one, I'm not sure what to call him. I think there's two of them, and this is either Paulie Walnuts or Digger Dave. Move, fucker! Don't.
That's a Digger.
Come on, man.
Why? Paulie Walnuts, I can get. I understand that, but Digger Dave seems like an odd name for.
Well, I don't know if it's dude or chick yet.
Well, that's not. I mean,
Paulie.
Do you think the squirrel's gonna mind if it's not gender specific?
Yeah, that's true. I should probably be more.
Assume the squirrel's gender.
Yeah, fuck. I'm an asshole. I'm so insensitive, so unwoke. Yeah, it's just
Get
a
your
squirrel.
shirt off right
It
now.
doesn't-
Take your shirt off and pants.
Yeah, I didn't show off my lady breast. I had a train of thought, but it went off the track.
That's all right.
I ate the edible early, but it's just so I can live with myself here. And my neighbor, my roommate neighbor, is
You've switched from roommate to neighbor at this point.
Things have gotten a little bit worse. It sounds like.
Yeah. There's been a cooling. You don't. I mean, you can't unhear silent rants. I mean, it's like
the silence is deafening.
Yeah, it's like if you walked up and a mute was angry with you and you just heard that noise, but I could make out words. It was like, but you're like, who rants quietly? Like, oh, fucking shit. You either rant or you don't. If you're ranting quietly, that means you're probably a sociopath and probably dangerous at this point.
Or a Jehovah's Witness, and you don't want God to hear you cussing.
That could be.
That could be it.
Really, I heard.
You have poor eyesight, and you really can't see who's 4 feet away from you.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm.
Everything should be a whisper if it's any kind of like negativity, right?
Yeah, I'm very stealthy when I go down. I'm like a ninja-esque. I'm working on being a ninja, making no sound and being. The fact that she's legally blind makes it easier, but that's not, still.
It's like you got the cheat codes on.
You don't.
And he's ducking behind sofas and shit.
Easy
from
mode.
one room to the other. Mission Impossible. Dun, dun, dun.
That's the opposite of what I do out here because, Doug's up here in the compound, and sometimes I got to go in to, get the mail, check on the cameras or something like that. I make as much fucking noise. I put on some Frankenstein boots and rattle some chains. Coming through, because I don't want to see what I might see if I go sneaky and stealthy.
Yeah.
Kenny and Derek were both complaining that they have seen just that thing more than once last night. I'm like, well, that's your own fault. You probably wasn't expecting you to walk in.
Like a fucking Clydesdale, man.
On the man show when we were living in Doug's office, I assume this is what we're talking about, living in Doug's office, which is a place of employment, for one. And I walk in and he's tucking things up, just closed up or whatever,
Closing up shop.
Yeah, and I didn't want to prove that I had a worse worse work ethic or anything, so he left the office, and then I, resumed. It's like picked up where he left off.
Resumed work.
Yeah, but he had his screen. I forget what he had on his screen, but he came in and I had on my screen, I had the lemon party photo. And I was like, I talked. And then I walked off and left the lemon party photo, which is you know what that is, right?
Yeah. That's
We're all
I'm not
Please
pulling
don't
it up.
put it up, Shaylee.
Yeah, no. That's funny because you were working. Go ahead.
I was going to say, although it would be kind of funny to see where your head ended up and if you put that picture behind you.
Yeah, that's true.
I was going to say that it's kind of like that Hedberg joke where Hedberg wrote his dad that he or bragged to his dad that he got paid $500 for eating cantaloupe because he got bumped from Letterman a bunch of times. So he still got paid scale. But like Andy is like, you got paid to jerk off. Fucking.
Well, you've
trumped him on that one.
When I worked at a mill, this guy was this one mill, I got fired. I think I got fired in all of them, but this one I particularly remember that it was for this. There was new management there, and they were like getting rid of some of the deadwood, which I wasn't even. I was I was ready to quit at any 15-minute situation. I'm taking it 15 minutes at a chunk here. I was regrouping after college asked me not to attend anymore. What's the opposite of a scholarship? Because I won one of those. And I was working in a mill, and then this new foreman came in, and I'd go I had all my bad work habits from when I was a union guy working for Hoot Looney back in the day. I was still, he ain't gonna fire me. He knows my parent attitude. But this guy come in there, and he said, I come out of the bathroom after I was in there, and he goes, "What are you in there taking a shit?" I go, "Yep, that's what I was doing." He goes, "On company time, you're taking a shit?" And I go, "Yeah, that's what I did." And he goes, "You know how long you were in there?" And I go, "I don't know." And he goes, "About a half hour." Like, really? Huh? Well, I'll trust you. I didn't bring a watch.
Some shits are longer than others.
Yeah. Like he wanted to pull that, you better worry or you're going to lose your job. And I was like, I already consider us broken up at this point.
Why do you think I'm shitting for a half an hour? Motherfucker, I don't care about this job.
Yeah. And the thing was I wasn't even shitting. I just stood in the toilet. I didn't even
had a job at the mines once where I would go into shit and I'd just take a nap with my head against the wall. And I never once got talked to about it. They never said a fucking word. I did it almost every day. I don't know how long I was in there. I didn't bring a watch either, but it's a long time.
I sure wouldn't want to fire you.
Yeah, I guess maybe that might have been it.
I'm a guy you build your reputation fire and want to get rid of that little shit in front of everybody. Intimidate that guy. But I didn't get intimidated because I really didn't give a fuck at all, It's like not only do I not need this job, I don't even need to hear the finish of the sentence. Those were fun days. Getting fired.
I'd love to hear the guy giving you the firing / pep talk speech about how you don't have enough pride in your work and God damn it, Andrews, you should show some. Hey, where are you going? You're already fucking out the door. I'm not done firing you yet.
I know how this ends.
I remember one of the stickling points. This is a different firing, a different mill, different situation. But
so this really?
Well, not really. This was the Bryan Adams concert weekend, and that was Hoot Looney I threw up on. I pulled that trick again because one of the coworkers was threatening to light up the place and kill the Mexicans. And this was the guy I hung out with, and I couldn't. We'd smoke weed with, but he was an angry douchebag. But I just would get high because he had weed, and he was threatening to kill coworkers. So I had the Ipecac syrup on the ready whenever I worked manual labor, and so I went, and he was going to get his gun and kill the Mexicans, and so I drank Ipecac syrup, and then I threw up and said I'm leaving. It was a Friday. And I left before the guy I smoked weed with went and got a gun and shot the place up, which he never did. Turns out he was a bit of a bullshitter. But anyway, I threw up and left. And that's when Howard Cookiehead, when I came back on Monday, told me I was already fired. And I was like, no, sir, we did not have that discussion. But one of the stickling points with him was he made these hats. The mill was DPV, Douglas Pacific Veneer. And to increase pride and productivity, Howard made hats out of his own pocket. They were trucker hats that said DPV the best. And he gave them to 15 of us, I think, about 15 of us. The mute got one, and everybody was real proud of their hats. I was not. And I started greasing it up and decorating it and fucking it up. And
flair. They call that flair, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Making it my own individual hat instead of one of the workmen. And that was after he said he'd fired me. And then I said, bullshit, Howard. And then I asked, how'd your eye get poked out? And then I was like, I hope it hurt you fucking. And he goes, you've been a piece of shit since you started here, and you don't take any pride in this company. And I gave you, and he gave you a hat, and you tore it up. And it's like, yeah, I kind of lost interest in it, but he was like threatening to call the police. And I was like, oh, okay, what's it, let's go, man. It's like he was a Karen. I didn't even realize it, but he was a Karen. He was making a big deal. Like I was trespassing because I was there to do my shift, which I hadn't got fired. I left, I threw up and said, I'm sick. And he goes, and go on home. And then on Monday, he rethought that in his head. It was like, instead of him saying, you go on home, man, you're fired, don't come back. But I didn't care. I was like, fuck, man, I wish you'd have called me on the weekend.
Yeah. I would have enjoyed my Sunday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I got fired quite a few. If Hoot Looney could have fired me, he would have. The only reason they left me on in that mill and I got hired 4 summers in a row, is I pulled the green chain, and they didn't want to train people for it, but I didn't put any effort into it, and I cost way more than I earned. Plus, I knew Hoot Looney, and I was in a union, and I mocked the union, or I put the shit. I would write shit on my helmet, like protest on my helmet. Because the thing is like, if you got hired at that mill for 30 days, after 30 days, you got to get rid of your hard hat. But if you were a summer employee, meaning you were a college kid, you had to wear it all 90 days. So I would write, what's the union done for me? And stuff on my hard hat, which Hoot Looney didn't like. He felt like it was a show of disrespect for I guess it was. Why did I have no respect for the mill industry? I don't know. I guess it was partly because I had no respect for myself or anything.
But they hired you back 3 more summers.
Yeah.
I mean, if they wanted to get rid of you.
Yeah. I even got when I got hired, the guy who hired me that worked in the personnel, he had 1 arm. And I, of course, asked him about it. I go, was that work related, or were you having fun? And so I guess, I don't know. I mean, if you have to choose from 30 Coquille recent graduates, making a joke about a missing arm is probably better than, no joke. So, but once you get hired, and then I was in the union, so I don't think any, it was Hoot Looney for 3 summers, and then he unloaded me on the 4th summer to a different shift, which is like, fuck that. By then I knew every hiding place and nook and cranny. I could work a whole day at the mill and inside the whole day and have a suntan. But I mean, like, because there was abandoned log decks and places like that where it's like, okay, I'm going to go under the mill and clean up. But I was like, fuck that. It's like sweeping up shit under a mill. Not, God damn it. This squirrel's going to climb my fucking feet, and then I'm going to have to ban him from the deck or put shoes on.
Cover up your fucking peanut toes.
Yeah. Maybe if your toes didn't look so much like cashews, that wouldn't be a problem.
Look at how Andy fixes the situation. There's a squirrel running at his feet, so he puts more walnuts down on the floor.
Well, my toes do look a lot like Brazilian nuts. This is exactly. I got 5 of these.
Yeah.
Oh,
You should eat those. Those are good for you.
Probably walnuts.
I'm not allowed to say what my grandma calls those.
Yeah. There's a reason. Then now we know why.
Everyone's grandma called them those.
Yeah, I Irish knocked back in the day, and now I can't even believe it. I actually was Irish knocking because most of them were ruddy-faced drunks that lived above the bar.
What's an Irish knock?
It's
when you knock and then you leave before they, and then they go, "Oh, you dirty little bastards!" No, that's a Scott knock, I think. Anyway.
It's ding dong ditch, but he's not saying the name of what we really call it.
We've really become politically correct on this podcast.
I tell you.
Oh, I know.
Well,
yeah,
trying to grow our base.
Yeah.
Well,
particularly sensitive times.
We can still be funny without saying fucking offensive shit, I suppose.
Of course. Oh,
Everybody knows what we're talking about.
Speaking of that, I saw a great clip. I have no idea where this was from. You know Delroy Lindo, the actor Delroy Lindo, I think that's his name. He was the black guy in Ghostbusters. Big dude.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Oh, that's a different dude. Ernie Hudson.
Oh, that's Ernie Hudson. All right.
You get them all confused.
They all look the same to Erickson.
Do you think all Ghostbusters are the same?
All Ghostbusters.
You can't tell Venkman from Ernie Hudson?
I'll look up who Delroy Lindo is in a minute.
I got it right here. Hold on.
That's Ving Rhames. You racist motherfuckers.
Wrong again, you son of a bitch.
It's always the back of their head. They all look the same.
Ah, shit. Hold on.
My favorite superhero was Luke Cage, so I've always been fearful of uprising.
But the point of it is, this clip I saw of him, he was on some sort of roundtable discussion with some white guys, suited up white guys. Like, it wasn't Fox News, but it had that sort of vibe. And they were trying to make this whole point about how it was unfair that black guys can say the N-word and white guys can't. They can't say it. And that's not cool. Like, you can say it, but I can't say it. And Delroy Lindo looks at him and goes, "You can say it. Go ahead. Say it. Say it. Go ahead. You want to say it? Say it." "No, I can't say it." "Oh, yeah, you can. You can say it. Say it." And he just kept doing that to him. And they just started flop sweating like, It was fucking fabulous.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Find the clip.
Like Tim Allen had that like a while back before any of the trouble. Tim Allen was like, why can't I use the N-word? Well, you can, Tim Allen. You're a TV, ABC TV dad. Go ahead, drop it. You know,
say what you want.
Billionaire.
Fine, you know, say it. Fucking piece of white garbage. Yeah, I just saw Rex. You know Rex Chapman, the basketball player. He's a great Twitter follow. He always posts videos, and he posted one was "Know Your Rights," and it was a. Did you see that one today?
I actually think I saw the clip I'm talking about on Rex Chapman's Twitter thing.
Yeah,
I've seen a bunch of good ones from there.
Yeah.
Chapman, I tried to follow him to see those, except for he then every time somebody retweets it and makes a comment, he then retweets that. So my feed is the same fucking video 12 times in a row. So I had to unfollow that guy. I still see his shit though.
No, yeah, Chapman's great, and but he it was a video. It was like it was like 7 cops rolling up on a black guy who's, I guess he had an open carry gun and he was filming stuff, and they just roll up on him and try to fucking, you know, they wanted a fucking situation, and he's like, I can be here. It's my right. I have an open carry permit and I'm filming stuff. And they go, well, you know, and they try to twist it. One cop has his gun, hand on the gun. He goes, "Why do you have your hand on the gun?" He goes, "'Cause I can." And then he goes, "Who's the supervisor here?" And he starts talking to the supervisor, and he goes, "Oh, you know, he goes, "Am I doing anything illegal?" He goes, "No, you're not doing anything illegal, but it's just very suspicious." And he goes, "If I'm not doing," and so then they just go, "Okay, well, if you're not going to talk to us decent, we're just going to leave." Yeah, I mean, they just walked off. It's like, I'm glad all this shit's happening, because that's a situation that guy would have been fucking probably
Absolutely
beaten or murdered, and they would have said he resisted arrest. He made up some bullshit, and he just called. He was very calm and spoke with the truth of the law, and they did not like the fucking truth of the law, and they got all fucking. You could see their fucking neck hairs standing up when he had the fucking. Well, this is public property, and I can be here. Oh yeah,
right.
well that's true. Yeah.
It really fucking sucks and shows the systemic part of it, though, that that they even fucking bothered the guy, because didn't a bunch of white guys with guns go into a federal building and fucking scream at people not long? Like, they didn't even get questioned. Like,
where judges are, where the judges.
Yeah,
There shouldn't be a gun allowed in a courthouse.
Yeah.
No.
Is this the guy Rex Chapman? Is this
Yeah, he's great, and he was a pillhead for a while. He got head, and he stole a bunch of phones like blatantly on camera, all clumsy and shit because he was so high. He was on the Dan Patrick Show talking about growing up in a black neighborhood and having a lot of black friends and all the race stuff going on. But he talked about the phone thing, and it's like, I fucking love dudes who are fucking public guys who should be disgraced over something that can talk about it. It's like, it's fucking on pills and shit, and he, clumsily stole, he can't believe it's him, but it's like he's not going, well, that wasn't even me, or it's like, just
I got hacked.
A real person. Yeah, like Trump walking down that ramp like a fucking falling turd, and then he's like, there's no real, it was
slippery.
Yeah, it's
slippery.
Can you imagine being so insecure that you had to respond to every shitty thing that people said about you? You couldn't just ignore that shit.
Yeah, I can.
I saw a reference to that, but I don't know what the fuck it was. About a rail? Someone said something on a.
Trump gave the commencement address at West Point yesterday, and aside from the fact that he couldn't drink a glass of water without lifting a second hand to it because he couldn't get it up to his mouth, he when it was over, he walked down this ramp in front of the stage, and he walked down it like one tiny step at a time, like he was moving so slowly, like he was scared he was gonna fall. He looked like
like your grandmother who has two hip replacements under her belt.
And then he stepped off of the ramp like a kid getting off an escalator. Oh, wobbly fuck. But his drink was like, what's his hand that's fucked up? His right hand. He goes, and then he has to go.
No, he just added he added the second hand. Like he was doing this. He was like, and he's like, oh.
Yeah.
What the fuck is wrong?
Real sippy cup. Like he's it's like, when my mom went into full dementia, she started being more like a little kid, and then she start talking about stuff and little kid speech patterns and little kid things, and Trump's a big fat baby kid now. He's progressing or digressing into a little child.
Yeah, when you see him drink water, not only with the hands, but you'll see his lips go to it like a little kid does. Like they think they can get their mouth farther out from their face, like instead of just bringing it all the way up to your face, like you're going to meet it halfway. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Well, plus, I mean, it's trending today. But it's like that Noel Castler guy talks about Trump. He worked with him on the Apprentice, that he wears diapers, and it makes sense. You see him standing the way he does, or but he wears diapers, so he's incontinent to a degree. And it's like,
what?
So
what?
Trump's a diaper wearing guy. I mean, some dudes wear them because they're just fucking convenient, like truckers. And
I remember. Do you guys remember?
That's the thing.
Yeah. No, I think.
Do you remember Tiny Tim, the ukulele?
Yeah.
His rider, when he came up and played Coots, his rider had no less than like 7 different brands of lotion, specific. All cutlery had to be wrapped in plastic. And a pack of adult diapers. Not even kidding.
I think that sounds like a great idea for an Issues with Andy Ryder if we ever get that far. Because it seems to me like a bunch of lotion and diapers might actually come in fairly handy.
You can jerk off in them. I I mean, it's like, it's probably a creepy gateway behavior, but I think of it, it's just like, it would be like a sock or a napkin. I wouldn't go, oh yeah, there was a hot little man in this. That's probably some creepy, there's probably some low-level pedophile that gets off on soiled kid diapers somewhere.
Oh, yeah.
It's probably, I don't even want to know, because it's probably
I'm
a
not
thing.
looking it up.
I know.
No, yeah.
I don't want that in my search history.
Yeah, I remember telling Dwight Slade about Nutrias. He was at the Calhoun's Eugene gig, and I was telling him about Nutrias, and he'd never heard of them.
The rodents.
And I go, yeah, they're
Yeah,
rodents
yeah.
with orange teeth. And he goes, I have no room in my life for these. And I go, okay. And then I was like, hey, come here. Hey, man. And then I was like, right down here. And then there's the nutria down there. And he's like, oh, shit. It's like, not only did I introduce him to a new concept, I'm like, here it is. Orange teeth, fucking rat that doesn't do anything good for anyone. Right? What's a nutria? I mean, they're good for their fur. So it's like if we were good for skin, and that's it, as people.
Aren't those the things they in like Louisiana and shit? They're always shooting them, and is that the same kind of shit?
Yeah.
They're invasive because they brought them into Louisiana or Mississippi, one of those Gulf states, and they were going to use them for the fur trade. And then there was a hurricane that came through, or some kind of natural thing. Knocked over they had basically a fur farm set up, and they all went out in the wild, which they thrive in swamps. So, I mean,
and if
they would have put them in Arizona, they would have all died. But
well, or if they, police targeted them more. But there's one when I'd take my daughter to go feed the ducks at the park. There was a fucking nutria. I didn't know about them either. And then one came running out, and I kicked it the first one, and it's like
God.
It didn't even fucking bother it. So I'm like, but we took off, and then I found out about them. So then my daughter would say, "Go away, nutria. We're not here to feed you. Feed the ducks," and we just tried to ignore the nutria.
I'm to say, was that effective?
Yeah, we just kind of threw, we let a duck mob develop and feeding the ducks, and then when a nutrient come, we just kind of we worked it out. We're on the move. We didn't let the nutrient.
You needed that crossbow, man.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, yeah. I know. Everybody else.
There's a bounty on them. I think you can get paid for.
I've never heard of them either. How big are they?
They're beaver size.
Yeah.
Pull up the Wikipedia, but yeah, they're big enough that you'd be like, "Whoa, fuck! You see that cat?"
Where? If you can shoot nutrias with a crossbow in town here, hell.
They're a problem in California, it says now.
I'd rather not deal with no Uber driving or anything.
Your side gig is nutria hunter.
Fuck yeah, just throw bread down.
There was
shoot them at point.
Yeah, my introduction to them. The reason I know that they shoot them in Louisiana is because I saw there was an episode of Insomniac with Dave Attell where that was what he did after the show. Because, he'd always go out after the shows and it was a late night shit. And he went out and he rode around with the fucking crew of fucking hillbillies who were driving around Louisiana, the fucking canals and shit, and just like spotlights out looking for them and then fucking blasting them away. And they were everywhere. They had no shortage of nutrients to shoot. So.
Why they're a nuisance is they just kind of where like a duck pond, they'll just eat at the soil and shit, so it starts eroding underneath and it just fucking kills land and shit. So they're just nuisances. And then their teeth, there's nothing lovable about fucking orange. That's why those monkeys with the orange ass probably get less love. It's just kind of
a baboon.
Baboons with the big, they're horny. Fucking red ass, like like
it's a sitting pad, Andy.
It's the wrong color for where it's supposed to be.
Yeah, it's like a set of pads or something. Yeah.
So it says the
baboons. It's called
the nutrients get to be about 25 inches long, but this looks much bigger.
Oh fuck! Is that
behind me right there? That's what. That's a
shit.
pet one. That's some.
What the fuck? I want to see what the face of that cunt looks like that owns a nutrient.
He's got big orange teeth.
I got something that blocks the top of my screen that I've never been able to master moving.
It looks like he's feeding him a popsicle. Maybe that's how the nutria's teeth get orange. They love orange popsicles.
Could
I
be
don't
it.
know what they get orange teeth. I told my daughter, I assume they don't take care of their teeth. That's why.
what'll happen.
Yeah, that's what happens.
What happens if you don't brush twice a day, honey?
Fucking nutrients. Yeah, those guys suck. Dwight Slade knows fully well about nutrients and how much they suck now. It's it. I enjoy that though. It's like a new horrible concept for you. The nutria.
Yeah. Well, just the whole idea of being introduced to new things, like that's it's like when I heard about TikTok, like there's another.
Yeah.
I'm like, you know what?
Yeah,
I don't.
It looks like a sore. It's like, how can that be just natural? It's like, if that were my monkey, I'd put lotion and pants on him.
Lotion, 7 kinds of lotion and 7 adult diapers.
An adult diaper.
And a pair of loose-fitting sweatpants.
Let's throw him a ukulele.
Yeah, now you know why we have this in our rider when we show up to do our podcast.
And I would put some sort of hair growth technique on him.
What, you gonna rub Propecia on his baboon ass
3 times a day.
I would have help do it if I could own a ape like that. I would obviously have help.
Oh, fuck.
Go away, squirrel. God damn it. I'm gonna have to do some squirrel barriers or something.
Yeah, I think you've created some monsters. By the way, Shaylee, I want to thank Greg Shaley for the
those are cool. That's a nice
one.
Yes.
Nice shirt, Coots shirt.
Yeah.
Nice.
Some swag. Appreciate it, man. And you sent me some the Ichabod koozies.
Oh, the koozies. Still got those.
Yeah,
Coots was selling those shirts as a way to raise some money back when the pandemic started. Remember, way back 3 months ago, they got some shirts made so that they could help some of the staff. So Tracy bought a bunch of them. So I knew you'd wear one.
Yeah, fuck yeah. And then the note that you sent was great. Shaylee sent me a note that says, "Feel free to write, wish you were Henry," on the koozie. But I would write, "Wish you were Henry" on Ichabod's grave.
You're gonna tag the headstone in Doug's backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think that Henry Phillips virtual. Well, I mean, Henry is unlikable of an animal as you could ever bond with.
Henry's likable enough to people, but she literally tried to kill my dog twice and almost succeeded the second time. Like, if it wasn't for Reverend Derek's big fat fucking thumb going into Henry's asshole to fucking let her
Wait, that really happened?
Yes. I watched.
I thought that was a story.
I remember hearing that story.
No, fucking Henry was locked on so tight that they could, like, you trying to do this, and I think it was his index finger actually, but he just went right into his fucking. I don't think he got it that far in, but if somebody touches the center of your butthole, you tend to have an immediate reaction, which is the rest of your body relaxes.
It's also good to get the order right. Lick your finger first.
If he was that adept at thrusting a thumb in an asshole, that would explain his domestic situation.
He knew what to do right away for some reason when nobody else did.
He heard a commotion.
Did he even lick his finger first?
I assume that if you've done it more than once, you know to lick your finger first.
There wasn't time.
Yeah, poop. Like that.
He doesn't move
the ball
fast.
Up and throwing
That's it. You do it like a porn. You just fucking spread Henry's cheeks and then spit in there first, and then go dive in. Seen it?
Yeah. I don't even think I could get a finger in my dog if I had lube and a fucking glass of wine.
Lube and a glass of wine.
The wine's for the dog.
No, I have to get in the mood for this shit now.
And he needs to loosen up a bit before he's fingering dogs.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a little tense around here. Doing some fucking shit that's set things in fucking, people are ready to riot around here.
Yeah.
They've had enough. They've had enough. I hear them saying, "I'm sick of it." It's not loud enough to really hear, but you can see it.
Yeah.
had enough of this. I'm sick of it.
Yeah, she's recognizing systemic problems.
Yeah. Well, I know this is like I can put time bombs. My dishwashing has been blatantly disrespected, ignored, undone, erased. So if I put dishes in the sink in the morning when I'm up, and I put dishes in the sink in the morning, they get taken out of that drying spot and put back over as though they're dirty dishes and reprocessed.
Yeah.
I'm just discovering. It's like, I wonder what this is all about.
Wait, so first off, when you started this, I thought you were talking about your town was done with the pandemic.
No, I knew.
And then
No.
I
knew
into
exactly
this
what.
because I'm like, the whole town's washing the dishes at Andy's house. That's weird. So
I thought maybe Andy took his
Antifa.
roommate's food out of the microwave
Yeah.
and set it on the floor so he could put his own food in.
to dry his tennis shoes in the microwave.
Relatively clean. Relatively.
Yeah.
It's not coat clean, but
It's on a
relatively
plate. It's not even sitting directly on the floor.
So last week we kind of had a round table. I don't know. I can't remember if it was 50-50 or what the percentage was that agreed with Andy, but we all had a kind of a consensus that you don't take clothes out of a washer and put them on the floor, directly onto the floor to jump the line to do whatever you're going to do. So now you're telling me that the dishes that you put in the sink are becoming washed and then put back in the dirty.
He's washing them. He's leaving them out to dry, and then his roommate comes by and takes them from the drying rack and puts them back into the needs to be washed pile.
Basically, just passive aggressively saying your dishwashing skills are shit.
No, there's probably some of
Which
that.
they used to be celebrated. That's what's going on here.
It's a confusing message, yeah.
It could also be that she's saying, the dishwashing process, if not completed, has not been done. So they go back to the beginning as a way to, teach you a lesson. We got to put the dishes aren't put away.
I don't put them away right neither.
Whoa! Interesting. You said neither, which begs the question: did you mean you didn't clean them neither, as well as didn't put them away?
So I eat off the same shit. Here's what I think the paranoia is the cats eat off these small plates, and then I put them in the sink. But the little trick of it is I soap them up, and then I pour, when I make my coffee, I got boiling water, and then I pour that on the plate. So it's soap and hot water. Then I rinse them with tap water and put them in there. Not good enough.
Yeah, I like that.
Is there a scrubbing involved in this process?
I need to.
Or you're just dumping water on shit?
Is there soap?
There's soap and boiling water.
Of soap. Yeah, no, I do it like you would if you were gonna do lab experiments on those plates later.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's too clean. It's too clean that your roommate is noticing that there's too much sparkle. We need to rewash these with some dirty water.
I guess. So,
yeah.
I'm gonna say that it's more innocent than that. And during the time of COVID, a lot of people like to wash their dishes twice for sanitary reasons. Andy, it's nothing against you.
I think that's the way we're gonna. I'm agreeing with that.
I just want to kind of.
All right.
Yeah. Let's get off that subject. All I got to do is forward this to her attorney.
Start eating off. When you go to the store the next time, just go get a big stack of paper plates.
Yeah,
Problem solved.
At some point, I'm going to have to give up that suite for our Airbnb. It'll be back available for rent soon. And when that happens, I don't know where I'm going.
Dude, if you slept in Doug's office at Comedy Central, you can sleep on that porch right there.
Yeah, there's a lot of mosquitoes around here, but I might just do a naked and afraid type thing and sleep nude on the deck. Get accustomed to being bitten by bugs all night.
Go get a hammock.
A hammock and a mosquito net.
With a net. You can get the whole thing for under $100.
Oh, I got a hammock, and that caused a big fucking to-do. I think you go back to issues with Andy 30-something. I got a hammock. I haven't used it yet.
What was the issue?
I didn't need to do that. It doesn't fit in the deck. It's too big, and it's like take it back, kind of thing. And I didn't. This is like I don't, fuck that. It's my hammock. It'll probably be my mobile. Yeah, I'm thinking of myself as Hawkeye Pierce, and the war's getting closer to my tent, so I may have to up and move it.
You have to bug out.
Yeah, I might have to get Klinger and a few of my personal effects and load up with Rizzo or
throw your still into the back into your backpack.
Yeah, I'm kind of working on like I want to be like a one-man band type of movement here. I'll strap on a washboard, some spoons. Because you can play the washboard with the spoons, or you can do laundry on it.
Yep.
It also provides you a comparison to Mishka's shirtless belly. You go, wow, yeah, Mishka thinks he has washboard abs, but he's just a fucking underfed white man. That's all. He's not even that fit. He just doesn't eat much. He eats a lot of self-loathing.
He's getting old too. That's the best part. It's happening to us, but I enjoy it when it happens to people who have really been hot their whole lives because they take it so much worse. Because it's like now him being shirtless doesn't have the effect it even had 2 or 3 years ago. Like he's crested the hill, and you can start to see the fucking cottage cheese fucking sides, and it's like,
the gross tufts of hair.
Yeah. Now it's starting to look ironic, like a Tom Waits cover or something, like a shirtless old fucking.
Yeah.
Maybe he should tattoo his younger self on his back.
I think I've almost reached the point of fat where I stop wearing a shirt. Just like, oh, who the fuck? Why did that fat guy not have a shirt on?
Yeah, if you get fat enough, you can almost make it look like it is a shirt. People will be like, oh, that's what a ugly. Oh, that's not even a shirt.
I saw a picture on the Twitter, I think, the other day, and it was like a guy with a Confederate flag, and he's standing there, and his T-shirt
those guys.
was so big, like he's so fat, and somebody made the comment that's like, it looks like he has a teenager holding on to his torso under his shirt, and you look at it, it does. You can see the legs going around the side. Oh, just take your shirt off at that point.
Like that's a fucking lot to ask for a T-shirt.
Yeah.
I've never been able to quite describe what that is. Like big, thin T. It's still tucked in and it's covering everything. It's like the lady has the fucking loose flesh in front of her pants. And then I could never quite figure out a way to describe like fucking ladies who have the pants just sliding down. Like it's like a couple of hams sliding off of a griddle or something. I could never quite phrase it right. Goddamn squirrels, man. Squirrels can be fucking fun, but they can also be a nuisance.
The other
man.
The other fat guy thing that I found myself considering, I guess this means I need to start losing weight, but whenever fat guys reach a point where you stop wearing your pants in the regular spot and you start pulling them up over your belly button like a woman.
The pants?
I've always wondered, like, guys will just wear their pants over their, because they don't want to see their belly hanging over their pants, I guess. I don't know. But,
that's a weird look. Oh, and I don't even know what that is. Like, how do you even, that's the belt. Where does the belt get its gravity at? It's like the belt's like trying to fucking, come on, man. You're going to have to work with me here.
You really get to the point when you're older too, that you realize that the belt was a terrible idea. The concept is bad. Squeezing yourself around the middle is not probably a very healthy way to go about your life anyway. And that the true way to hold up your pants is to have something go over your shoulders. So your shoulders hold them up.
Yes.
The next thing you know, you're the fucking guy in suspenders, and you're explaining
I just bought 2 pair.
There you go.
It makes sense.
When you start it is so comfortable.
I started wearing pants at tie all the time. I went on a hike yesterday, and there was a MILF with 3 little toddler type kids. They're walking on the path, and I went by, and one of them said, "That guy's wearing pajamas." I did not correct him.
You should have turned around and said, "And you can too one day, son, if you play your fucking cards right."
Yeah, these are not just
practice.
These are not just pajamas. They also work as ninja pants. Very stealth, There's no corduroy squeak giving me away. I can sleep in them. I can kick a nutria and knock. They're not probably the best pants for squirrels. I don't know. It just crawled up in the chair with me, and I gave it the last of the Brazilian nuts, even though there's a bunch of walnuts on the floor. I was like, I don't know where to draw the line, but I don't, they're creepy fingers. If you just put gloves on or something.
I think about another 30 episodes into this, we're gonna have Andy with squirrels on his fucking shoulders while we talk to him.
Yeah, feeding them.
Yeah.
I saw it. I went for a short walk this morning to cut some flowers. Right here, you can see some of them. And there was a dead gray squirrel. It wasn't in the road. It was just, I saw it and I was like, "Hey man, hey!" I thought it was at first. It was just like, "What's he doing?" I've never, like I said, they hang out, but this guy was doing more than that. He was actually playing possum, but he was dead. He wasn't playing possum. He was dead. And I was like, hey. And then I was like, oh, shit, And then I realized, no, I actually don't care for the gray squirrels. I like brown squirrels, but I don't like the grays. They're pushy. Like if I ran into a gray squirrel at a restaurant, I might ask to see the manager and complain about him.
Andy, they do make gloves for squirrels.
They do. Yeah, I saw a place that has underpants for squirrels. It's like a joke, The joke is you try putting them on there and see what happens, I guess.
Well, you better have the gloves on them before you try to put the underpants on.
You think it's ridiculous?
Once again, it's the order.
You think it'd be ridiculous to put a diaper on a squirrel? Try thinking of your president sitting in his own shit. Wait for fucking Hope Hicks to come change his soiled panties. Macho man. Two-hand drinker, fucking stumbling down a ramp, fucking shit in his pants. That's the ideal male for a lot of people in this country.
It's really amazing. And there's clips of Comedy Central did the President Show. Do you guys remember that?
Yeah.
I think the guy's name
Cartoon?
is
No. Live action.
Yeah, it's the guy's Tony. Carrie Mitchell's back, everybody.
Hey,
Carrie Mitchell. Hey.
I suspect she shows up just to end the first part of the episode.
Oh yeah, keeping us on track.
Yeah.
She just happens to get back from her walk.
Carrie Mitchell was out there counter protesting the Black Lives Matter protest. She's down there with a bunch of white vigilantes with aluminum bats trying to make sure that the statues are knocked down.
Yeah. Knock down that dome. They're tearing down Dom DeLuise, everybody.
Oh, shit.
Yeah,
Eric,
it seems
you
like
summed it up perfectly. You tweeted it. I think you said, imagine giving a fuck about a statue. I was like, you don't even have to make any other argument than that.
If they took a statue down in the park and just because they were going to put a swing set there, you'd never fucking know that it happened. Yeah. So what do you give a fuck? Is it because that people are mad about it that are doing it? You just want to fight with them.
There was a controversy here over There was a controversy here over a cross. It was a memorial for fallen troops in the day, and the cross stood over. It was there when they filmed Animal House. The cross was there, and then there was a protest, and then they took it down, and they removed it, and they took it. A church bought it and put it over there where it was more fucking fitting to have a cross on a church property, and they put a flag up for the troops because actually the troops got suckered into fighting for the flag, not the cross. So it's actually was a pretty good deal. But people were all up in arms about it, about the cross being there or being removed, and I didn't give a fuck either way. I was like, who really gives a shit? Unless you put like a 50-foot Jesus on it and made it really fucking cool and epic, with bleeding
Add
technology
blood every day.
Yeah,
Bleeding technology every hour.
yeah. Every
How
hour
many
you're up there.
gallons goes down instead of
It's
tolls?
like Big Ben. That's how
Yeah.
you know what time it is. Like,
Yeah,
Jesus bled 6 gallons. It's 6
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah. Well, look at this.
We haven't had any controversy really here, but that's only because I don't go anywhere. Because Jenny and I did go out on a motorcycle ride, and we stopped by our favorite little bar in Tombstone. And as soon as we got in there, there's a dude. The COVID is a Democratic hoax. He's shouting in the bar. I told Jenny, I go, hey, you want to go outside? Forgot we live in Arizona.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like being able to yell the N-word out. It's like you can go yell and get in people's face about not wearing mask or wearing mask either way, but you still have to remember it's just like pre-COVID. If you're being an asshole, somebody might punch in your fucking face.
Yeah.
And whether you have a thin mask between you and the fist, it's still gonna fucking hurt. You might be able to round your teeth up quicker.
That's right. All that means is you're gonna keep your teeth in there.
Just pull the mask off your ears.
Just wrap it right up, take it to the dentist.
Well, in
Opinions
Tombstone,
are like assholes. You can express them, but somebody named Derek might thrust a fucking thumb in your face.
in Tombstone, a lot of the people that live there are actually dressed up in the garb of the times. Even kids, like during the summertime or when tourist season. But shouldn't they could wear masks because that's what the bank robbers wore, right? Bandanas and stuff.
Well, can't they just do like when what was the thing that killed people in Deadwood, the plague of the Old West days?
Smallpox.
Smallpox going around, that's like they could say we're doing a special rendition of Smallpox theater.
I think it's whooping cough too was a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, look at Doc Holliday, man. He was infectious. He could have. They didn't need no OK Corral. They just needed to play poker with Doc without a mask on at the table, and he would have killed the whole fucking bar in 14 days.
I definitely think it doesn't have anything to do with fashion. I like I said, that dude was literally screaming in the bar that COVID is a Democratic hoax because I was talking with the bartender, telling her that I was glad that she's a real nice lady, we know her, and I'm glad that you guys are opened up and stuff again, and it's a hoax. He starts yelling. Like,
oh God,
fuck this.
Are you gonna get on my?
If
lap?
It's a hoax, it's. I mean, to convince every sporting event to stop making money hand over fist. That's pretty convincing. Who was at that meeting that said NBA, NHL, even the WNBA has got to shut down.
Every country. Here's the fucking. I can't wait for the episode where they have a Zoom meeting with all the relatives who signed off on their relatives and watched them die in a hospital alone in a sterile environment while they FaceTimed them while they're taking their death prattles. And then when they get pranked and that relative's like, gotcha, COVID, you've been hoaxed. Oh, shit. We sold off all your shit, Mom.
Ashton Kutcher is behind the whole fucking thing. We're all just being punked.
Yeah. They're actually, your relatives aren't there's no COVID. They're being put in trains and taken to gas chambers. Get over it. Relax. Government's got you. It's fine. Yeah, don't be a fucking baby about it. When that train comes for me, I'm getting on there with my mask, proud to be an American. No, I'm taking my mask off because they're gonna fucking gas me anyway. It ain't gonna, it is the fucking great hoax. It's it's a gotcha moment for all of us. Like, absolutely. I feel kind of left out because nobody I loved has died slowly on camera or anything. So I'm like, man, why can't I get hoaxed?
Everybody thinks that's so bad, but it's like, remember how awkward you realized it was going to be to have to go through someone's death holding their hand, and sure, it's probably the thing that they need, they absolutely need, but for you, it's now it's I'd love to be there.
Yeah.
Love to be holding your hand, Grandma, but I can't make it. COVID, and then you go right to the back to the Netflix binge of Tiger King. You're like,
Absolutely.
check back in an hour.
I think
I've got.
I think it's kind of a loose plan, and I think I would need help to carry it off. But I know a farm not far from here in Pleasant Hill, not far from where Ken Kesey lived. But there's a pumpkin farm, and they have a catapult. And I remember years ago thinking that'd do it, you know, like like if you're dying anyway, But my plan would be if I'm all COVID, I got to get some heroin on hold.
There's
And
a
then
lot
have
going on here. Hold on.
Yeah.
well, but it's just a way out.
Catapult
Listen, a
catapult
lot
your
of
heroin
people,
in your
Catapult,
body.
heroin.
I talked about being eaten by a bear years ago, and then Grizzly Man went and did it. So I felt like, fuck that. I don't want to be a cliche. And then I was going to hang myself, and now every comic I know is hanging themselves. So I'm like, oh, fuck.
Andy,
So,
do you want us
I'm bringing
to
back the
catapult pumpkins
catapult.
full of
Yeah.
heroin up your ass?
No, I want Derek to do it.
Make sure you lick them first.
Derek's got to insert the pumpkin with his thumb, and it's got to be way bigger than a gourd. I don't want no penis-shaped gourd.
Well, you'll be gored.
Yeah.
There'll be
So-
blood for
Yeah.
sure.
But I always thought like being catapulted, but I would want to do it like say there's some protest going on and everything, and then they just wheel out a catapult and I'm on it. Yeah. Doing some heroin because I'm dying
What if-
anyway or whatever. And
what if you
shooting
went
up
the
some
other-
heroin?
What if you went the other way with it and say you got the COVID and you're riddled with it, and then we could, pour some other shit on you that's generally gross and nasty, and then catapult you into like a Trump rally where
Yeah.
you just come flying in and you just, like a cannonball, you just take a swath.
Splatter right in the
of-
middle.
Yeah, how flat is Tulsa? I don't know. Is there somebody there who's listen? If you're facing the fucking Grim Reaper pretty soon, nobody's gonna remember you unless you get a hang glider and some explosives. I mean, who was
Like
fucking
Superfan,
crazy?
remember
Who was-
Superfan? He would come flying in on the fucking
Yeah,
hang
that
glider.
guy, Superfan. Nobody would have remembered that fucking Mike guy except he strapped a rocket to himself and fucking flat earthed himself. You could be a hero like that, or you wait 2 weeks and let the infectious disease of ignorance spread through the fucking herd of hams. Remember the swine flu? That's what I think is going to happen in Tulsa. It's just all these fat fucking cows and pigs all fucking in there together with no fucking concern about safety and anything. It's like, I can't wait for it. And the convention, I hope they do their convention in fucking Jacksonville. Fucking bring in the cruise ships, the fucking hookers, man. The hookers will have to be knocked. Where are they going to find that many suicidal hookers? Oh, okay, Vegas.
Think about that for a minute.
New York, okay, Chicago, okay. They'll get them there.
You caught yourself.
They don't
Andy.
even have to be suicidal. You can just offer them what the money is, and when they go, all right, how about $25 more than that? And they'll be like, all right.
Hey, the bad news is I got COVID, and now you have it. The good news is I got crack. Okay, cool. I'm good. Yeah. So, think about a convention anyway. Republican, Democrat, Libertarian. I went to the Libertarian convention and I gave them mouthwash, and it was after they announced who their candidate was, and then the reporters thought I was doing it as a political statement. I was not. I was there with Stanhope, and I was tripping on mushrooms, and I did it because I noticed every libertarian would get in your face and had bad breath. So I was giving them shots of scope, and then the national press guy wrote it up as though it was like, he goes, "Are you doing this because I forget the name, the guy, but they go, is that because of him?" And I go, "Yeah, it leaves a bad taste in your mouth." And then I was giving shots of scope to everybody because they would get in your face, and it's like, Jesus Christ, I don't even want to hear, I don't want to hear anybody's opinion if they fucking have garbage breath. So,
Maybe that's partly why they became libertarians. They ended up having to figure out a way to
Here's
kind of forward,
okay.
to kind of do everything on their own without help from society, because they unwittingly have been repulsing people for so long that they don't have anybody around them to help them do anything.
Yeah, nobody can. Yeah, and here's another fucking weird. We went to Bet and Erickson's, some barbecue with that dude. So Doug was there. We went and hung out with libertarians, and that was really fucking boring. It was like, and then, but there was libertarians this was in Denver, and there was a furry thing going on.
Furry convention where they dress up.
So I hung out in a bar. It was like being in Star Wars. I was at a bar with furries and fucking libertarians, and it was not that cool. It sounds like it would be a lot of fun, but who are you going to talk to?
Yeah.
Bad breath or bad intentions. I can hang out with
bad breath or dandruff.
Yeah, I can hang out with a squirrel that's a real squirrel, but I can't hang out with an accountant dressed like a squirrel who wants to have squirrel sex with me. It's uncomfortable.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I feel like the furries have every bit as decent a philosophical, ideological framework as the Democrats or the Republicans or the Libertarians. I'd vote for a furry for president. Why not?
Yeah, but they weren't there for political reasons. The furries. It was just they happened to be there. It was just like, in fact, I'm in a furry picture. There was a bunch of them posing in Town Square, and I photobombed it. But they didn't send me a copy or anything. They probably edited me out like I was a fucking, interloper.
Yeah, you ruined it. You ruined the shot. You weren't wearing the costume.
Yeah, that's what I do. But anyway, but like anytime you see a convention, it's all these old fucking weirdos dressed in the tackiest outfit. It's like if you were going to a band and you dressed like you loved the band so much that you dressed up in their album covers and you fucking screamed the lyrics, and then you went there to a concert and everybody was doing that. You're a bunch of fucking lunatics, and I would never go to a convention. It's like fucking stupid. And if going to a convention this year is going to kill the people that go to a convention, then fuck yeah, I'm going to watch it on TV and I'm going to fucking cheer and laugh and cry like every other idiot.
Yeah. And if it can happen in Jacksonville, Florida, all the better.
Yeah. Win-win.
Three birds with one rock. Yeah, I can't wait for it. I wish I wish it was convention time right now. I want to, like, the Indians should sell them red, white, and blue blankets and cough COVID in it. This is a fucking nod to the past. If they're not going to learn from the past in any level, then let the Indians give them COVID blankets right before the convention. How hilarious. And Flint, and then the kids from Flint can hand out bottled water to the conventioners. Trump water. It's Trump water. Oh shit! I'm taking my Trump water and my American flag blanket given to me by a Native American.
Stay on nutrients in this water.
I'm going to stay on a cruise ship that's full of nutrients in the pool.
Oh, shit. All right. Let's make a drink. I finished my coffee.
It's time to fill my bong and open up that big beer.
Yeah.
And run that fucking squirrel out of here, man.
Stop feeding him, Andy.
I will as soon as I'm done.
He hears that, and it's a dinner bell.
I mean, about all
Pavlov's squirrel.
If I run out of that, all I got is peanut butter between me and total anarchy over here.
Oh shit! All right.
Well, if you want to continue,
we're gonna go over to the Patreon for the after party, and basically that means we just keep doing this for a little while more. And if you want to join us over there, sign up for our Patreon. It's right there.
Here it is, right there.
And then you can also sign up to Chad's Twitch channel. And
that was a lot of fun last night, Chad. Yeah, that was cool.
See things like playing poker at the Funhouse.
Real poker with real money.
I kept getting bounced out, but it's just a joy to see all you guys sitting around. Everybody. I can't even discredit anybody that was in the picture there. Much as I'd like to take a few cheap shots, I won't.
Yeah, I was going to say, do it again, and we'll all jump on there, and we'll find some people to discredit. I'm not worried. I think we
Oh,
can.
that's
really
all I
put
did.
our
I sat in the
minds-
funhouse,
Mhm.
and they were out there playing in the patio, and I just kept drinking in the funhouse and fucking lighting up on the message on the side. I
Yeah.
wasn't even
Yeah.
watching what was going on out
You
there.
were you were part of the cool kids who were so cool you don't take part in anything.
Oh
You
yeah,
just sit
fuck
and you
yeah.
make fun of them, smoke cigarettes. That's
Yeah,
fucking awesome.
Greg will be remembered as the guy who wore a mask that night. I mean, he'll be remembered in 3 weeks because he'll be the only one left.
Kenny had a mask on and was ridiculed for it until he took it off. That
Yeah.
gives you any idea.
Yeah, it
about-
doesn't
man.
seem like Kenny could withstand any sort of peer pressure or abuse and hold
Well,
strong.
And he's like Tom Brady. He won't put anything into his body that he's not sure of.
Well, I think
He's
I
just
think
sure
it-
of different things.
Yeah.
I think at one point Fury pointed out to him that he was
Walnuts.
taking his mask off to share the joint that was going around. So
Oh
the
my
mask
God,
was
you
probably
guys, what are you guys
pointless.
doing? You're not supposed to pass joints around.
Uh,
Daly, you were right to make fun of him.
Yeah.
Don't be sharing your joints, Chad.
Here's the
Just
thing,
please.
Erickson. I shared joints with other people who, like me, have not left their house 9 months before everybody started not leaving their house.
I'm gonna get
These
nervous.
people are fucking isolated, man.
Yeah. I just think that's one of the things we're gonna have to say goodbye to, like shaking hands. Everyone gets their
Yeah.
own
I'm all
weed.
for
and
bowing.
keep
I'm all
your
for
own.
Tracy and I already started. We're
Start
bowing.
bow-
now.
All right, I'll
Yes.
start. We can start
Yeah.
bowing.
Yes.
And then you just smoke just like you're doing right now, Chad, during the podcast. You have your own weed and you smoke your own weed, and that's just the way it is.
There's
I
something to be
I
said
always
for
hated-
sharing a joint.
I've always hated going to a sporting event and having to slap hands because somebody else did something, and then the fucking
Uh-huh.
asshole is sitting in front, wants to turn down, he nods at you, tell you got to give it up and put your hand up there. You know that guy's had his hand all over his asshole last shit he took, and his like fucking dirty hands and his fucking that was a great catch. Those athletes that worked all summer, put in their time, made that excellent play. We got to witness it. Let's exchange fucking diseases, motherfucker. Yeah. No,
Good game.
Good
game.
done.
Good
Yeah, I'm
game.
done touching
Good
hands.
game.
Yeah. Ugh.
Fingers are for thrusting into things, and that should be it.
Breaking up fights.
Preventing a dog from killing another dog, and getting the coke booger out of your nose. Other than that, fingers
Your
are
own nose.
overrated.
Are both very important things. All right, everybody. We love you. We'll see you again in a couple days. Later.